Have you ever wondered what it takes to compose an orchestral epic action cue? Well, today we've put ChatGPT to the test. I asked this artificial intelligence to compose an action cue, and these are the results. Hey everyone, Mark Giovanni here, composer and founder of Cinematic Composing, an online school where we teach composers to go from zero to full-time career. And we've been using in Cinematic Composing ChatGPT a lot. It's very, very useful. It's just scary. We use it for so many things, obviously text-based, but emails, announcements, notifications, customer support, even agreements sometimes. So it's very powerful. Now, is it useful for music? So if you've watched videos on YouTube about ChatGPT and music, like I've asked ChatGPT to write me a jazz tune, those videos like 3-4 months ago, they were using ChatGPT 3.5. Today, we're gonna be testing the brand new GPT-4. Well, sort of, you know what I mean. Let's see how it turns out. I really want to make this work. So first we're going to switch it over GPT-4. And so the most important thing here is how you ask the question. And the way I like to work with ChatGPT is to give it as much information and context as possible for the prompt. And then based on the output, then I start refining it. Now, this works very well for logical thinking and for text-based tasks, like writing an email or writing an announcement. But it's gonna be the first time for me trying this for music, so let's see how it goes. So let's start with something very simple and with not that much context. So we're gonna write something like write a chord progression for an action cue in the key of E minor, make it ABA structure. I personally don't think this is a really good prompt, but let's see what it does. So it says section A, E minor, fierce and brooding, setting the tone, D major, adding some tension, C major. I'm gonna read this, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but we're gonna learn something from here. So then section B, A minor, shifting the mood slightly. This is very interesting. This is not helpful at all.
I'm sorry for this misunderstanding.
But let's just quickly analyze. ChatGPT and most of the AI excels at logical patterns. But for ChatGPT to give us a good result, again, we're gonna need to give it context. So again, it excels at logical thinking, at providing you with information. In other words, education. It can educate you very well. So let's start there. This is not a good prompt. Write a chord progression for an action cue in the key of E minor. It's too vague, there's no context. Let's back up a few steps. Let's first see if ChatGPT understands what an action cue is. So in the context of film music, music for media, please always polite. Please explain me what is an orchestral action high intensity cue. All right, now we are talking. This is good. This is real good. So an orchestral action high intensity cue in the context of film music refers to a specific piece of music that's designed to accompany or enhance a scene high intensity or action in a film, TV show, video game. Fantastic. The term cue is used to refer to a specific piece of music that begins to a particular point in visual context. Great, awesome, understands what we're talking about. Fantastic. Now here's where it gets better. This type of cue is typically characterized by the following elements. And I understand that at this point, ChatGPT is still not writing music, it's just spitting out information. But we will use this information later on to better ask questions. So, vast palette of orchestration, strings, brass, this is generic, but this is true. This allows for a widely range of sonic possibilities. Basically, what we know about the action high intensity traditional orchestral cue is that's going to be full orchestra, big epic. Fast tempo to match the piece of the on-screen action. This helps to heighten the intensity and urgency of the scene. Yes, again, a tad generic. We're gonna be talking about things that are a little bit more specific. Odd meters, 5/8, 7/8, unexpected syncopations, unpredictable accents, but still, it's pretty good, not bad. But see, it kind of like expands it here pretty well. These cues often use complex, same thing that I just said, driving rhythms to help propel the action forward. Here it starts getting a little bit more specific, pounding percussion and syncopated as fantastic brass motifs. This is awesome. Like at this point, even if we didn't get for ChatGPT to actually write the music, just with this, it gives us a fantastic starting point for us to start composing. So this is good.
Thank you.
The harmony in this often helps to build a sustained tension, alright? This can be achieved through a use of dissonant chords, fantastic, and conventional chords, progressions, and sudden harmony shift. Exactly. Dramatic dynamics, yes, exactly. Dramatic shifts, explosive passages. So this is great. It hasn't just given us the, okay, this is how you compose an action high intensity cue, but it also has told us, why it's written like this and how this helps, because we gave ChatGPT the context of this is an action high intensity cue for film, music for media. So it's explaining us how this is going to help enhance the scene. Can you see how this is not a good question? An action cue has lots of sudden harmonic shifts. Like if we are writing a true orchestral action high intensity cue, something like this. It's not like tension or action mid intensity where we've got a pulse at the stage. So now with this information, now we can ask a more informed, a better question. Hey, just a quick break because I wanted to invite you to a live free class on Zoom that I'm gonna be doing next week, I think it is. Link in description. You know what to do. There's gonna be 200-400 composers just like you. It's gonna be a blast, and we're gonna be talking one, how to compose soundtrack ready type of music, high quality industry standard type of cinematic music. That's number one, and how to leverage AI to help us move faster in that direction. Number two, in terms of speed, how to configure your workflow so you can compose fast and efficiently, and so you can focus on the music, not on the technical side of things. And three, how to make money with your music, how to monetize your craft and your passion. Now, obviously, to be able to do this, you have to be able to compose high quality, good music. That's why we also will touch in the other two topics. But again, it's gonna be so much fun. I will see you there. I'm just waiting for you to register to the class before we can continue with the video. It's free. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think I said this many times, yeah. A lot of fun, lots of fun, so much fun. It's gonna be a blast. Register now. Now. So if we look back at this, maybe what ChatGPT tried to do is like, okay, this could be like the subsections inside each one of the sections, but asking ChatGPT to create a chord progression for an action high intensity cue is just not reasonable.
You're challenging me.
Like if you go back and listen to the John Williams snippet that I played, you could see how the harmony was changing a lot. What I'm gonna do though, we're gonna try and compose with ChatGPT a short section of an action cue. And to be honest, when I'm composing an action cue, to me like the driving force is not the harmony or the chords, which for like an adventure cue or for a tension action mid intensity cue, yes, the harmonies are very important. For action high intensity, to me is more motivic. And it's a series of horizontal layers, those motifs, that when they clash vertically, they create that harmony. Alright, so that's great, you got it right. Let's try and compose a short passage for an action cue. It's going to be 4 bars and it's going to have 2 layers. We're gonna have an ostinato and a melodic motif. Please give me both these elements. Let's see. I really like how you give it a prompt. It's like giving you the understanding of what you've asked me. I'm gonna give it to you here, but this is what I understood. Alright, so the ostinato. And it gave me strings and percussion. Great, awesome. Strings and percussion, EDCB, repeatedly play these notes in a fast-paced, fantastic rhythmic manner. Great. This could be done with the lower strings. That's awesome. Like the cellos and double basses playing in unison with percussion for added intensity. I mean, it's not genius, but it's telling you what to do. It could be generic, but it's a fantastic starting point. I'll show it to you now. The melodic motif could go in the brass. Yes, GBD. This could be played with the brass section like the trumpets and trombones, riding a bolt for a counterpoint, driving the ostinato. This should give you a nice, intense background for an action scene. All right, let's get it started. Let's do this. I'm gonna try to not compose anything that ChatGPT has not given me. I'm gonna say for the ostinato, suggest what exact tempo, time signature, and the rhythm. Okay. Tempo 140. Why? Because given the nature of the action cue. Time signature 4/4. This will work, no problem. But sometimes a 7/8, things like this, work really well with this style. So rhythm is going to be basically this. I'd like to go with a 7/8. Absolutely, a 7/8 time signature will add an interesting twist and sense of rhythmic instability that can be very effective in action cue. I know. So basically 140, 7/8, and now we're gonna do 2/2/3, and we're gonna do din din don din dan don dan. So at 140, so this is going to be 280. This is gonna be a 7/8. But it's gonna be too fast for me to play. It'll bring down the tempo a tad, and then we'll bring it up. So, but we're gonna start with 200. Something like this, and this is the result. Maybe you can accent the accents a little bit. now let's go back to the motif. So for the motif, let's rework the motif with the new theme signature. Theme signature. Please give me the exact rhythm. Salud. You could appreciate how good of a job it does when it comes to teaching. Remember, the 7/8 time signature, we're dividing each bar into 7/8 notes. To me, it always feels like the tool is justifying itself, like, you know, I'm doing this because of that, right? But for an aspiring composer or a beginner, this context is fantastic. Now, let's take original motif, G dotted quarter note, covering the first 3 beats. For like in a slow mind like mine, this is helpful. And then B quarter note covering the next 2 beats. E quarter note covering the first 2 beats of the next measure. Okay. And D dotted quarter note covering the next 3 beats of the same measure. Can you explain this with like symbols? So what this means, we're gonna have the G note here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're gonna have the B note for 3. Then E. And then D. And it would sound like this. Let's see. Let's bring this up an octave. This creates a syncopation with this because the accent is here. So if we got to repeat this here. Not bad. I would have gone with something, I don't know. Something like this, yeah. Exactly, something like this. That's what I said at the beginning, that I like to give as much context as possible, then see what I get from it, and then start giving feedback. So in a way, I'm training the tool, which is something that you have to do. Like imagine that you got an assistant that's composing the music for you in this case, but the assistant is not as knowledgeable as you are. So you're gonna give them context and train them if you want for them to do a good job for you. I like what I wrote a little bit better, but again, the goal of this video is see if we can get something out of this intelligence that can do this for us. This is great, thank you. I find this motif a bit too diatonic. Can you go a little bit more chromatic? All right, awesome. At this point, I could do the same thing and I could write this in my sequencer. Let's take this one step farther. Let's create a MIDI file directly from ChatGPT. ChatGPT will not create a MIDI file, but what we can do is we can write in Python. Please write this motif in Python. Create a script that spits a MIDI file.
Sure, here's a Python script to create a MIDI file.
It's coding for us. How amazing is this? Awesome, so we've got this guy here. Paste this here. I create a new file with no format. I save it here. Open terminal here. Drag this file here. Python action motif.py. Here we go. Here's the MIDI, and let's place this guy over here. There you go. So this is the melody. Let's bring it up an octave. Let's make it a little bit louder so we can hear clearly what it did. Then we will make the notes shorter, but so far we've got. We can make them fixed lengths, and then we can make staccatos. Not bad. Obviously the dynamics are the same, so it's not gonna sound natural, but let me just rewrite this part. Okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's orchestrate this. For the ostinato, you said to use lower string, like please be a bit more specific with the exact strings arrangement. I'm just trying to trick ChatGPT to give me the cellos and double basses in octaves because I think it's gonna do better for this. Also, tell me exactly what percussion instruments to use. There you go. Exactly. Now, it's forgot. Remember, the ostinato was. Please adjust. My apologies. We're composing music here. We're not playing games. So yes, this is what I liked earlier. Cellos here and the double basses an octave below. The next phrase that I would write is I would suggest to just play like the accent notes. Let's see what it gives us. All right, just the first bit of its measure. It works. Yes, let's start doing this. I think we can maybe just copy this guy from here. Kind of like the cellos, solo this guy and see what happens. Not bad. Okay, cool. Good starting point. Then we're gonna have the double basses. Cool. All right. Now here's what we've got. So we've got the strings now, and now we're gonna have percussion. So bass drum, snare drum, cymbals. So bass drum playing on the first beat of every measure for a strong, steady pulse. Let's go. Great. What else? Snare drum. Play the same rhythm as the string ostinato, but instead of pitches, use the rhythm to mirror the rhythm. This will enhance the driving force of the ostinato. So I'm gonna move them a little bit over the left side so it compensates with the lower strings over the right side. And then we're gonna have cymbals used sparingly for accenting certain beats or moments of increased intensity. Okay, let's see. Let's bring back the piano melody. Alright, so we're gonna do piatti for when the melody comes in. Last three notes instead. I think this here. And then we would have to take a and then we're gonna have it gam bim bum cymbal swell here at the beginning. Great, not bad. For when the melody comes in, we can have boom de bam. Maybe we can have the 12 horns. Then maybe trumpets here. Yeah, something like this. Not bad. Look at this. So, in conclusion, to not make this video too long, is ChatGPT perfect? No, it's far from perfect. Was it a good answer? No, it was a bad answer, but also it wasn't quite a good question. So ChatGPT, as for now, or other AI, will not compose like we compose. You've seen me taking some decisions, and you've also seen me training ChatGPT. I think this is gonna add madness to the mix, you know, clean this up a little bit. So like you've seen me guiding ChatGPT, but it's a fantastic starting point. It's also fantastic for avoiding blockages and procrastination and writer's block. That's what we're gonna talk about this in the next video. And it definitely will not do the work of putting the notes in the sequencer for you as for now.
Give me a few months.
Also, you've seen how we've created a Python file and then extracting the MIDI file from the Python file, but then we had to rewrite at least the dynamics or the velocities. And also, you've seen that there are many decisions that ChatGPT will not take for you. And I think this is very important because otherwise all of us would sound the same. And here's where you come in and you express your own voice, what makes you unique. And that's exactly what we do in Momentum, the 6 months program where you're gonna be working with Hollywood composers to find your voice, to find your confidence, and then to find projects as a composer. More info about Momentum, link in description. So if you want to work directly with me, you know where to find me, but that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I hope that you found this entertaining, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.